Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm in Warrington. I'm adding to moto again. Brilliant for me, brilliant for you, because you get to see what I'm on today. Let's just cut to it. Right, it is a windy one today. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. It stops the bike really well. Rear disc at the back, again just the single twin pot. Now the exhaust, for me, I really like how it looks on the bike. One piece seat, but you can see the back is raised quite a bit. This is where the magic happens. Rear peg, they match the front pegs, so you have got a kickstart as well should you need it, but it also has an electric start. Love the old school look. I love the clear lenses. I think they make the bike look nice at the back end. I love this rear light as well, and dual suspension at the rear as well. Now that for me soaks up the bumps really nicely at the back. Again, really cheap bike this, so the fact that it feels so comfortable is a credit to Keeway. I like the matte finish. Decent sized mirrors, you can see everything that you need to behind. I do prefer a cruiser, if I'm completely honest, with the bar end mirrors. I think it just sets the bike off. However, these, they do feel a little bit more practical, but looks wise, yeah, for me it's bar ends. But let me know what you think. It goes in around the side. Not my favourite position, because it's easy to forget you've got your key in it. I can see it through the camera lens, and I can tell you it's actually better in real life because there's a bit of a reflection coming from the camera, but it is nice and clear. You have got your rev meter going around the outside. You can see a nice big speedo, so you can see how fast you're going. You've got your total miles, and there is a fuel gauge coming across the bottom. Let's show you what I look like sat on it. It does feel a little bit cramped, even for somebody with my short legs, so it would be perfect for anybody that is under my height. I'm 5'8", I find it okay, but I think if you're taller you need to sit on one for a test ride, and let's see what it's like on the move. Nice low seat for my little legs, good start. Right, key at the front, different. Really cold day today, so the fact that it started so easy from a cold start is a good sign. Instantly I've noticed I don't feel cramped with my legs. I feel if you are tall you might be, because this is just about alright for me. I think any taller or any longer legs, yeah, it might feel a little bit too cramped for you. Quite hard seat, but not uncomfortable, and you know, some people like a hard seat, don't they? The clutch is nice and light, so if you're going up and down the gears, that's going to be nice and comfortable for you. This bike would be perfect for anybody looking to get a cheap 125 that isn't the tallest, let's say. I think a lot of people will see this as a positive to have the pegs a little bit closer, especially if you have got shorter legs. You're not stretching for them. A lot of the big cruisers, you feel like you've got to really stretch, especially if you've got short legs like myself. As you can see, it is very easy to move with your feet. It appears to be very light, so if you're looking at downsizing, if you're looking for a bike that is going to be something a bit lighter, something a bit more manageable for you, this could be the one. Now the noise from it is very much 125. It does have that typical 125 little purr about it. It's not particularly beastie. It kind of doesn't fit the bike. If you want just a bike for practical reasons to get yourself around. You're not bothered about some beefy exhaust. It certainly isn't going to wake your neighbours up, and that's a good thing. Let's see. Actually, it growls a little bit more when you take it up the revs. You do start hearing the growl of the bike, so that's not too bad actually. I actually quite like that when you're giving it a little bit. Anyway, who's still taking the bike out in this miserable cold weather that we have? Let me know in the comments. Am I the only crazy one who's still out and about riding? As you would expect for a 125, it gets up to normal road speeds nice and quickly. You're going to keep up with traffic. You're not going to cause any traffic to get annoyed with you for going too slowly. I do like to try all different types of roads. Now, not every second of my test ride goes on to the final cut, the final bit that you see on YouTube. So if you do wonder about other types of roads that I don't feature, by all means feel free to ask the question about them and I'll let you know. So let's just get it up to 40 miles an hour. It is quite windy, but you can see 40 miles an hour appears quite quickly. There's no issues. There's certainly no cars trying to overtake me because I'm not keeping up with the speed limit. But now we're back down to 30. Boo-hoo-hoo. Now, one thing that isn't for everybody is the indicators left on the left side, right on the right side. Now, I know that's not a thing for everybody, especially if you've got used to the indicators being the standard, which is just one side that covers left and right. But it is something that Harley Davidson have done for years. When you've got a bike manufacturer like Keeway, that I think they do style the bikes based on the Harley Davidsons and the Indians, and they do try and get those touches in there. I can see why they've copied that touch, because for anybody who wants to be riding a Harley Davidson and they're only 17 years old in the UK, this bike is set up like one. It's set up like a smaller baby version of the big Harley. I know a lot of people will say, oh, Chinese bike, they're rubbish. The build quality, it seems alright, to be fair. It is what it is. It's a cheap bike, so you can't really complain about the build quality being a bit cheap because it's a cheap bike. It delivers the speed quite smoothly. I wouldn't say it was rapid, but cruisers aren't rapid. Unless you go and buy in a Rocket 3, one of the big ones, you're not ever really going to feel rapid on a cruiser. But that's what they're about. They're about slowing down, chilled out riding, aren't they? This is just another option, isn't it? It's another bike that you can choose from. And you think with this bike in particular, this bike is coming in, I believe they said it was £2,299. Now, it is pretty much a brand new bike, this. It has been running, somebody has put some miles on, but only enough really to cover the first service. So if you look at it that way, you're getting a pretty much a new bike with something like this, but the first service has been done, so you don't have to worry about keeping the revs down, keeping the speed down, because somebody's run the bike in for you and somebody else has paid for that first service as well, so that's a good thing. So you save money on the new price, but you also save money on the service cost as well. So I think on this bike, it may be about a £500 saving, something like that, on the brand new version. So if you wanted a brand new bike, then you can pay that little bit more, but you just have to bear in mind you'd have that running period that you'd have to keep the bike ridden sensibly. You wouldn't be able to thrash it, that's for sure. you'd have to ride it really sensibly until you've got a couple of 100 miles on, and then you'd have to pay for that first service. And I think the first service on these bikes, in fact any bike, you're talking £150 to a couple of £100, aren't you? So you're obviously going to have to pay that as well if you get a new one. Some people want a brand new bike, and I don't blame you. I've had quite a few brand new bikes myself, and it is a nice feeling to see no miles and no age related marks on it, just to get it brand new from the shop. But if you want to save a little bit of cash, then you get a used version that is nearly new, and that's why this is today's used bike bargain. If you are one of these 6-foot giants that I've heard about, you should go and sit on one. If you're considering the bike, go and sit on one and see how your legs feel on them. But if you are shorter, then yeah, you'll have no problem with this at all. You're not stretching for the pedals, because they are forward, but they're not that far away from you. So there just seems to be, this bike, like it's a perfect bike for a shorter rider. If you are shorter than me, this bike would be perfect. It'll fit you like a glove. If somebody was 5'2" or something like that, they'd probably still be able to flat foot this bike, depending on leg size, of course. If in doubt, just go down to the dealer and sit on one. Into Moto have this used bike in there. They do tend to have new ones as well, so you know, you have the options available to you of buying a brand new bike or buying a used one. For me, this is the sweet spot, because somebody else has already lost that initial bit of money on it when they traded it in, I suppose. You probably get to 60, maybe a touch over. I'm not doing anything like that today. Obviously this bike is for sale, so I'm just doing a bit of a impressions ride just to see how it feels. But speed wise, for me, it's fast enough. It's what you would expect from a 125, certainly of this type, and you wouldn't be disappointed with it. If you're looking for a 125, you wouldn't get on this and go, oh, that's slow. It's just not quick, plods about, and it's comfortable doing it as well. I like it. I've said it before, for a cheap bike, it's certainly one worth considering. I'm back at Into Moto. There's all the sold bikes again, waiting to go out today. So they are selling bikes quickly. I don't think this bike is going to be in here for long. That is pretty standard with a lot of their bikes at the minute. They're selling bikes even this time of year. So if you're interested, get onto Into Moto. I'll put a link in the description, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.